We live. Okay, let's go ahead. Let's start it up.
I got two girls, one 20 and one's 21. No, sorry, one is 21 and one's 22. I just rented this space for them, apartment for them, 2 bedroom, 2 bath, right here. 1680 a month. Before they can get into this apartment, they have to be qualified times 3, which is above $5,000 a month. So each person has to be making $5,000 a month in order to rent this apartment. That's how much the apartment rent up. Now, please tell me which 21, 22-year-old making an income, a monthly income of over $5,000 a month after taxes. No one is talking about it, but this is off the chain. They rent up on these apartments. Most of them are empty. Empty. Because people ain't paying this kind of money. 2 bedroom, 2 bath for almost $1,700. Plus this and plus that and plus that. At the end of the day, you pay at least $2,500 a month. But no one ain't talking about this. They're allowing these people to go up on their rent, saying that, okay, things are hot. The bullshit. They are gouging on these prices and no one is saying a goddamn word. Now I have to go ahead and rent an apartment for 2 of my girls so they can be comfortable. Ain't that some bullshit?
So basically, as the guy explained, he's renting an apartment for his 2 daughters. And I mean, I feel his pain. For those who are in Atlanta or in the Georgia area, you can contact this website, Georgia Renters Association .georgia.gov, and they can help with you with renters assistance to file claims and just help with the heartache and pain through all this. Because I mean it's getting bad. They actually had a march today. Oh, no, I'm sorry, not today when this video being posted, but they actually had a march regarding the renters going up on the rent, and there's no stipulations on that. So a lot of people are, in dire need of assistance. I mean, owning a home right now is a big part. A lot of people fail to realize the power of home ownership because they don't think it's acceptable and can be attainable. So therefore, they kind of lack in those fields of actually, doing and putting in the work. So to I say to most, you know, get your money together, buy a property. If you have to do it with 2 families and you have a nice community, then so be it. You know, I seen a young lady. She bought a house for about 700,000, and she had a unit. It was one building with 3 units, and she rented out the other floors to family members to where they all stayed in the unit, and they're paying a small amount of money. Everybody's paying a small amount of money to actually, own this property. But to an extent, it's in that young lady's name. And, for all the family members that can't afford, they're staying with her and living comfortably. Even she's living comfortably. Instead of paying a $900,000 or $500,000 each month, she's paying at the bare minimum at least, $700, $800. The more the merrier. To an extent, most people don't want to go through that because, like I say, nowadays the economy is based on a self mentality. I, me, and that's it. No we, no us, no team, no family. It works that way because if you have a family and a network, then you tend to survive. But without having that base of community and family, you tend to be thrown to the wolves. And we all know if you're wolf or sheep, you get eaten, you know. And shout out to LAR Movement. Like he said, he's still moving. And he did a video on foxes and wolves. And to an extent, the fox will be sneaky with their approach on how they do things, and the wolf will be directly and just bite you, kill you, devour you. So pick and choose your poison. And so I just wanted to show that right there. And actually, I got 2 more videos to show, as well. So go ahead and drop that. Let's pull this one up. On the next video. And like I said, man, when it comes down to it, you got to stay ready at all times and know your understanding of where you at, where you're moving, what are your options. A lot of people fail to realize, they do have options. They do have options. And this is from Channel 2. I'm not going to play that because I don't want to get any copyrights, but hey, if they do it for the audio, they just do it for the audio. But here we go.
Story: the spike in rent in Metro Atlanta. The cost just keeps going up. The average rent is now up 30% from just last year, and people are fed up. Channel 2's Justin Carter spoke with tenants who believe the soaring prices are ruining their neighborhoods.
It's hard to find somewhere for me and my family and I to go.
Latricia Cheney says Atlanta is not what it used to be, and it's why she joined dozens of people marching from Woodruff Park downtown to the state capitol Saturday. She's with the Housing Justice League. Their goal is to protect tenants and bring down Atlanta's astronomical rent prices. We're told it has a lot to do with private equity firms and corporations buying up properties and in turn making it too expensive for people to rent or buy them. The league says that 60,000 homes in the metro are owned by these corporations. They say that Black neighborhoods, both south and southwest of Atlanta, are being targeted the most.
Why not raise the wages where I can afford, a $2,000 3-bedroom? I've never seen anything like this.
We need to pass the Tenant Bill of Rights because there's not a lot of protections for tenants against landlords right now. It's very easy to evict someone, which does a lot of harm to a tenant. And there's a ban on rent control. And we need to repeal that ban. People who are working and trying to, stay in the place that they've lived for decades, and they're unable to because rent is increasing.
And as they make their way to the state capitol, their demands right now, they want the statewide ban on rent control lifted, which allows landlords to raise rents and ultimately can displace people. Also, they want rules in place to stop corporations from buying large amounts of properties. In downtown, I'm Justin Carter, Channel 2, Action News.
And this isn't just an Atlanta problem, it's everywhere. According to Rent Cafe, the average rent in Atlanta is $1,800. But even if you live outside of the city, you're paying much more. In McDonough, rent spiked to $1,728 a month over the past year. It's a bit cheaper in Douglasville, where the average rent is $1,428 a month, but that's up nearly 20% in just the past year.
Hey guys, we are giving out a ton of these DeWalt samples today. Just fill out our quick 2-minute survey and we'll ship.
Yep, sorry for that video. But yeah, like I said earlier, I was talking about that. When you actually are the renter, you actually go through a difficult situation with your, expenses and so forth. And it gets kind of scarce to the point where you know where you're going to be in the next couple of years, you know. And that goes for a lot of people that's going through this process, and it is kind of weird to the point where you don't know, actually what you're going to do, how you're going to live, or what's your next option, So I'm going to go ahead and play one more video, and then I might end this after, but just, just give a little in between. But I mean, you just got to understand renting, it comes with its flaws. A lot of rich people decide to rent because, for one, they have the money, and for two, at risk, if anything going wrong with the property, they know that the landlord is going to take care of it. But you got to start looking for details to actually fit your life, because longevity. A lot of people don't think about the future. They think about the right now, the present. Longevity is key. So let me go ahead and play this other video, then we go from there.
House, well, the Atlanta housing market is still hot. A year ago, we heard some real estate professionals saying, hey, they expected the market would have cooled off by now. Well, now more houses will be available for buyers, but that has not happened at all. Demand is up and so are prices. New at 6. I talked with a local woman today who finally finished what she called an intense process.
The process was scary at first.
Lacey Davis is a new and first-time homeowner.
I find something that I really like, and I would think that I had some time to, talk it over with family members, learn about the area. You go back the next day or the next 2 days to maybe put an offer in, and it's gone. So a lot of times I was heartbroken.
After an arduous process that took half a year, she closed on her new place in Stone Mountain. She's one of the fortunate ones. Shakia Renee of Ansley Atlanta Realty was her realtor.
It's competitive. So I like to tell my clients, and I'm pretty sure I said to Lacey, right now the market is like the Hunger Games, but real estate, right? Because you have so many people competing. You have homes that are getting 30, 40 offers. So it can easily get frustrating.
The fact is, prices are up all across Metro Atlanta, another 24%, and demand has not waned. Shakia tells us buyers' wishes have changed a bit because of the pandemic, and many things will stick, such as a desire for nicer, larger homes to accommodate a home office, a more secure neighborhood, even better yards for the record number of pets acquired in the past 2 years.
Be prepared to, get yeses and nos. You're going to get more no's than one yes to get in a home, but you have to be prepared to buy.
Have a game plan.
I would honestly recommend to not even start looking until you're absolutely ready to buy in this market. I mean, it's okay to have an understanding of, what you want, but if you're going to go house shopping and you're not ready to buy at that moment, don't do it.
There is this: federal borrowing limits under FHA have increased, so buyers who can't afford it can borrow more to try to win that house.
And
Who was driving?
He was.
Well, Mrs. Moody's mailbox is now attached to the left rear fender.
She could just email or text.
When a little fender bender turns
yeah, well, technical difficulties, but yeah, I mean, that's crazy to an extent, man. A lot of people just fail to realize when it comes to these situations like that, you literally have to understand. I mean, your options, knowing, what you qualify for. And, the last end when they were talking about the FHA, guidelines and preparing the more, I mean, that's literally more money for the banks. So don't buy over, don't put yourself in a predicament where you're going over $30,000 more than what the house is worth, because in the end, If the house depreciate in value, you're on the head for that. You're losing value in your house and you tend to sell. You're going to sell the house for less than what the house is actually worth. So once again, weigh that as an option. Right now that's a good market to sell, but buyers are suffering. So like I said, weigh your options. And the way the market is right now, it is hard for teenagers. I mean, look at the situation in which teenagers are suffering and buying homes and trying to compete in this market. I mean, look at the whole rundown, like I said at the beginning, showed at the beginning of the video, where this man was trying to afford, housing for his daughters. I mean, what was his options? What were the options that could suit him in providing, living quarters for his daughter? No situation to where there would be harm. So he would have to provide a nice area, subject to the money that in that area that's provided. He has to, do a plethora of things to provide safety for his daughters. Not only that, a lot of people not understanding certain areas cost more, and maintenance on the buildings, if you're not buying, is a plus. But the point of it is they have renter's insurance for things like that. If you're buying, you have a renter's insurance for the property. You have warranties in which you can, facilitate to, help you with that. So a lot of people need to look at those options. A lot of people need to look at down payment assistance for first-time home buyers. Only thing you're paying is the closing costs. I've talked about that in previous videos. A lot of people got to understand what are your options and, how can you benefit from those options in buying a house? Because at the market rate now, yes, is like the lady said, the Hunger Games for buying a house. But you got to look at the point of it is, with the buying a house, you have a mortgage that is set for at least 30 years until you refinance. The way the housing market is, houses that were in the, I would say, early 90s, let's say, for instance, with me, I had rented an apartment, I would say late 2010, 10-ish. So I was paying $950 for a 3-bedroom apartment. And nowadays, that current apartment is going for $1,800 for a 3-bedroom. $1,800 for a 3-bedroom. I can get a house a little bit under $1,500 to $1,200. So technically, I'll be saving anywhere from, let's just say, $6,000 and above. I mean, took at the bare minimum $200. I'll be saving if I were to purchase a home versus renting. So like I said, get your budget together, make sure you have it, your family, whatever you're dealing with, to seeking you afford a home. And honestly, in my opinion, a home is affordable right now, way more better than renting. But to qualify for a home, you do have to meet qualifications, credit score, debt to income ratio. So a lot of people fell in that market. I talked to a family member, his debt to income ratio is bad because he has 3 car notes. To my understanding, we had a conversation, but I was kind of figuring out why 3. At least at one time, he has one of the vehicles going to be paid off this year, and going into next year, his process of elimination. But to the point where, it's having fun, it's YOLO life. It's cool when you're young, but when you get older, You have way more responsibilities in dealing with your family. You have to make harder and rash decisions. So keep an understanding of what you got going on. And hey, till next time, we here. And like always I say, we gone.